Hey guys, welcome back to Maths Recovery with Rebecca. So today we are going to be looking at an extension of part 1. Remember, part 1 was common factor. The reason why I'm calling this an extension is because it doesn't have to happen all the time. Okay, so when does it have to happen? We'll go through that in the video. So this is a sign change method video. Let's begin. So the question that you need to ask yourself is, what could I multiply or divide by to cause signs to change? So let's look at this example. Let's say I have a 5 minus x and I want to change it to an x minus 5. To look something like this. Well, what have we done? This 5 was originally a plus and the x was originally a minus. So what has happened to make these signs change? Because if we look at what happened, this is a very bad color that I chose. Let's go yellow. The plus has now changed to a minus. And the minus has now changed to a plus. And how? How are we even getting that right? Well, what about division by -1? So let's go and think of something like this. If I take out a -1, let's say I've got this 5 minus x. Remember, with common factors, it divides in to each of the terms. This will now become a -5 and that will now become a plus x, and then we would have to rearrange it. X minus 5, and that is how we get this x minus 5. So taking out a -1 as a common factor is how we apply a sign change, and the reason why we have to do this is so that we can put the variable first. So let's look at the next slide. Now, when do we have to do this? Well, when common factors, when you have to reorder terms, like in the last video, I had to get x first. When I group, because in this case, if I look here, you see I'm rearranging because I'm grouping here. My brackets are kind of the same, but they're not exactly the same. The only thing that's different is the signs. And then with algebraic fractions, when you've got to try and cancel, when you're multiplying and dividing and you're cancelling a numerator with a denominator, and everything is the same except for the signs. Okay, let's look at this first example. So like I said previously, everything is the same except for the signs. So what I mean is I've got a plus 2x here and a minus 2x, a minus y, and a plus y. So how do I get these signs to change? Well, I take out a -1 as a common factor. So if I've got y minus 2x, if I take out a -1 as a common factor, I'm going to get now a plus 2x and a minus y, which looks exactly the same as this original bracket over here. But now the question is, what is happening with this -1 and this original +4 that is sitting there in front of that bracket? Well, what do you think happens? If you thought multiplication, you are 100% correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this. So it becomes 3a 2x minus y. Now we're going to multiply it by the -1, so it becomes a -4 2x minus y. So there, all I've done is I've applied a sign change. Now my brackets are exactly the same and I can group. So 2x minus y, that variable bracket, and then a 3a minus 4. 100% factorized. So what I'm going to do in the top right hand corner, I'm going to pop the grouping video if you haven't watched it yet. So you can go watch it there if you don't understand what I'm doing with the factorizing. So we have the same situation here. That's a plus, that's a plus. These are minuses. So to change a sign, I am going to take out a -1 as a common factor. And remember that -1 that's coming out of here is just going to multiply with the -1 that is there and becomes a +1. And then all the signs are going to change. So and then I group. Plus y 5a plus 1. Done. Okay, let's look at more advanced. So, be careful. What does that mean? Well, remember we looked at the signs, right? So P is positive. Wait a minute. P is positive. Q is positive. And Q is positive. So in this case, we're not going to apply a sign change. We are just going to reorder because all the signs are originally the same. There was no need to change any signs because they were the same. Great. Let's look here. Okay, so I'm going to take out, well, there's a -3 in front. So my common factor is going to be -3 AB squared. So remember, your common factor divides into each term. So I've got an A squared. Be very careful here, because remember you're dividing by -3AB squared. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to pop my original part 1 taking out common factor video in the top right hand corner for you to just go and watch, because now this becomes a negative. 4b squared, and isn't that dots? So we can go further. A minus 2b, a plus 2b. Okay, let's take a look here. Standard form. So this is the standard form of your trinomial. So the reason why this is here is because this bracket right here isn't in highest order of power. Let's put him in highest order of power. Plus q squared minus m squared minus 5m plus 6. Wait a minute. Our brackets are kind of the same, but you see, that's a plus, this is a minus, this is a plus, this is a minus, this is a minus, this is a plus. Sign change. So we are going to take out a -1, and that's just going to make this a negative q squared. And all of these signs are going to change. Now my brackets are exactly the same. So I've got m squared plus 5m minus 6. This is grouping. P squared minus q squared. And I could probably factorize these further. M plus 6, m minus 1. That's a trinomial being factorized. And this is dots. Big fat gold star, guys, if you got that one right. Okay, let's look at the next one. I have plus minus. Oh, plus minus. Oh, this one is a minus plus. So these two are exactly the same. Just a reordering need there and a sign change needed here. So let's do that. Make that a negative, because a negative times a positive is a negative. Swap those around. Just fix that order. And then we are going to take out this p minus 3. And I've got 12x squared minus 29x plus 15. And then at this stage, we need to see if we can factorize that back trinomial, and we can. We're going to get a 3x minus 5 and a 4x minus 3. Looks great. So remember, if you can't factorize that trinomial, go back to my other videos, and I've got the AC method there for you and the crisscross method. See which one works for you. Okay, great. So now let's look at some more advanced questions. We're dealing here with squares and cubes. So we've got odd numbers and even numbers. Thing to consider here is this y minus 2x. Let's just make like a side note here. Y minus 2x squared is equal to y minus 2x and a y minus 2x. If we look at this original bracket, we need to have a 2x minus y. So we're going to have to apply a sign change to this first bracket as well as the second bracket. Now that is taking out two negatives. And when we take out two negatives and multiply them by each other, we're actually getting a positive. So this is a positive 2x minus y. Taking that into consideration because we have a square. Okay, so we've got 3a 2x minus y plus 4. So now it's still a plus 4 because remember, with the square we took out two negatives that made a positive, and that positive multiplied by positive here by the 4 is still a positive. Then we have the sign change that we just did, and we've got only one of these brackets are common, and our last bracket is going to be looking like this. Great. Now let's look at a cube. Let's make a little side note over here. So we've got y minus 2x cubed. So that means we have three of these brackets. Y minus 2x and another y minus 2x. So I'm taking out a negative over here, a negative over here, and another negative. So I have three negatives that I'm taking out, which is a negative, because negative times negative is a positive, times another negative is a negative, and then I've got 2x minus y cubed. So that's a nice side note there. When you have an even exponent, like a plus 2, like a 2 or a 4 or a 6, you're taking out that many negatives, which creates a positive. And when you have an odd exponent, you're taking out that many negatives, which is a negative. So let's go and carry on this. So I've got 2x minus y minus, because now you're multiplying that positive 4 with a minus, and we've got 2x minus y cubed, and let's carry on factorizing that by grouping. We can only take out one of those brackets, and I have 3a minus 4 2x minus y, and we still have 2 left over there. Great. Okay, now let's, same questions. Now it's just negatives. Now remember, with the square, we took out the two negatives, which was positive. Now that positive times this negative is going to do nothing. So I can just go and rewrite this as negative 4 2x minus y squared, and I've got 2x minus y 3a minus 4 with this 2x minus y in the back. 100%. Remember, cube, 3 negatives is going to be a negative. And now a negative times a negative, that's going to give me a positive. So it's 3a 2x minus y plus 4 2x minus y cubed. So I've got 2x minus y, and then whatever my leftovers were, and this bracket is still squared because I've taken out only 1 as the common factor. Great. So thank you for watching and have a good rest of the day. I have popped all the lessons that, if you haven't been following from the beginning, in the top right hand corners as you go through the video. Hopefully by now you understand the sign change. Have a good one.